Welcome back guys to another unboxing video. I'm your boy Shanus and we're going to be cracking open the brand new Pokemon Edition Nintendo Switch Lite. I'm super excited, it just got delivered today. So packaging wise, very nice. It is a very small box. My original Nintendo Switch came in a much larger box. It had a lot more accessories with it, but still the box was nicely sized, more in the comparison to PS4 size boxes. This box is tiny. This is more like a 3DS size box. It's very compact. Everything's going to be fitted in there very nicely. Now here's the back. It is a little bit of a spoiler, but it's the Pokemon Limited Edition. You can see the two designs on the side there. They're very nice. That's why I bought this system. It was about $9.99 or 10 Great British pounds more than the standard colours, so I don't know why you wouldn't pick up the limited edition. I mean, I prefer it over the other colours anyway. It's a matte grey. It doesn't take your eyes off of the screen. I wouldn't have thought for gaming. I do find with some of my DSs that if there's a bright vibrant colour, it can distract you from the screen and what's going on during the day when you're trying to immerse yourself in your gaming. So I went for the grey. If they had a black with the colours and the design, I probably would have gone for the black as well. Now once the console's out of the box, you can see clearly that it's not going anywhere. This is securely seated in this cardboard design. Very nicely designed box actually. You can't really, I mean, that's not going anywhere. It's very secure. These edges are very hard. Nothing's really going to get through those. And all round, just a bit of clever packaging. So pop in the seal. We get the console. Now we'll get back to the console in a minute, but for now, the second flap, you'll find yourself the manual, of course. Inside the manual, you'll find yourself all of the specs. It does have, so WLAN, it has a 2.4 and a 5.320, I guess that is. So it'd probably show up as a 2.4 and a 5.5. It does say there 5.5 by 570, so indoor use only. So outdoors, you know, if you're sitting in the garden in the summer, don't expect the range to be as great as it will be in the indoors. And the Nintendo Switch Lite does feature NFC support, which is great to hear. Well, that's it really for the instruction information leaflet really. There's not much else to look at. And of course you've got your charger in the box, which we won't be getting out for now because I'm sure this thing comes with a bit of charge so we can finish the video. Now here's the bit we've all been waiting for. Slide this out. Look on the back now. There you go, you can see the designs. Hopefully they're quite hard to see. If I tilt it you might be able to see it now. They do disappear as you move it, so they're not prominent. They're definitely there. You know they're there, but they're not exactly standing out a massive amount. But I guess this is more about subtlety rather than being loud and proud, so I'm down with that. It's a cool console so far. Buttons wise, no, it's that Nintendo cheap plasticky stuff, you know. I don't know how to describe it better than that. Like when you buy a Sony device, I find with Sony you get a lot more of a better quality of button. It feels more like they're plastic, hard plastic covered, maybe shiny. With Nintendo you just get the bare bones, you know, plastic molds as such. You've got your LZ and RZ. You do have a headphone jack, which is a major plus. The heatsink is at the back at the top, which is very handy. And they do still have two at the back here, which is, I'm guessing they're not speakers, I'm guessing they're going to be heatsink covers. So you've got your up and down volume, you've got your power button, you've got your card slot of course in there. So it's all very conveniently laid out on the top of it. The bottom, I'm guessing these are your speaker holes. There's your SD card hole. Once you put an SD card in there you probably won't be accessing that too much. And then of course in the middle you got your charger port. So this may charge on a dock. I'm not going to go ahead and say it does or it doesn't. So of course this version of the Switch does not come with TV out. You cannot plug this into a big 40-inch TV. Okay, so I'm just going to mute the volume for video purposes. So we are going to go ahead and hit English. Okay, so I did just go ahead and fire this up onto my Wi-Fi. So it wants me to make a character before it actually lets log in. So I'll go ahead and quickly do that so that we can bypass this section. Okay, so back on the console, you can see it does have half a life bar on the battery left. The Wi-Fi is connected. We can go ahead and check out the system firmware real quick. So out of the box, this comes with an 8.1.1 installed. Whether that's the limited edition only, I seriously doubt it. I think all of these would probably come 8.1.1 because it is the initial release when this video is being created, summer of 2019. So that is what you're likely to get out of the box. Of course, you do have flight mode. We can adjust the brightness. It's very bright screen. So super bright or super dark. And somewhere in the middle, you know, 3/4 of the way is probably where play is going to be most comfortable. It does come with a 25.9 free on it, so I'm guessing that's a 30, but obviously the system swallowed up the rest, so out of the box you will get 25.9 gigabyte. I know from personal experience that that is about 3 games, full games download before that will fill up, because you have updates on top of that. So really you want to get yourself an SD card and upgrade the system. Now I find with the SD card on the original Switch, not all games are compatible with SD card, so you do have a choice on themes, white and black only at the moment. White's going to be better for you to see on the camera. I will switch it to black real quick so you can see. So there's black. I'm going to quickly go ahead and run a system update, because without the system update you will not be able to access any of their store. You won't be able to download any games. The system really locks down if you don't do the update. So system update is imperative when you first get your console. It's the first thing you should do. Connect to Wi-Fi, make an account and download the updates. Okay, so while that is updating, I've gone ahead and grabbed my original Switch. As you can see, it's had a lot of use, but you can see the size difference there. The Joy-Cons are the same cheap plastic as the DS Lite. Very similar plastic. The only difference is between the two plastics, and I'll show you this, is if I press my fingers against this one, it leaves residual marks. They disappear, but it does leave marks, and after a while you do have to give this a little bit of a clean because it does start looking a bit grubby. Unlike this one, where the residual marks just doesn't have it. It doesn't have the residual marks. It's a different type of plastic. It's not as glossy, and I actually prefer the plastic that this one's made with as opposed to the original Switch. Now, of course, on the original Switch, like I say, the systems are exactly the same. You're going to get the same updates, you're going to get the same system layout, so we won't need to go into that. The thumbsticks feel better on the original Switch, 100%. They are very similar, but the best upgrade that I can see is the D-pad. I mean, you have a proper D-pad, and it's a nice D-pad. It's got a nice flow to it. You're going to be able to bust out some Hadoukens and some fireballs with this one. Whereas on this one, you have no chance. I mean, it's very hard to use that D-pad on you. I don't even know why they went for that, other than to sell a Pro controller. Why you wouldn't put a D-pad there, I do not know. But you can see that the home button and the option buttons are in exactly the same place as with the start and the select button. Of course, you've got your trigger buttons in exactly the same place, SD card, everything is the same layout. Obviously, you don't have a stand now, because the stand on the original is where you put your SD card underneath, but obviously the console will then stand up, which is a nice feature. It does stand up, so then you can play your games. You can disconnect the Joy-Cons, of course, and you can play away like that. So there's a multiple of options with the original, and it is only £80 more. So this is the kicker. So this is £200 or £210 for the limited edition, and this one is £270 as is, and that comes with your dock. It comes with your Bluetooth Joy-Cons. There's no Bluetooth controllers with this one, although compatible, so you can put a Pro controller to this Switch Lite, but the Switch Lite doesn't have a stand, so I mean, how are you going to prop this up? And also it doesn't have TV out, so again, you know, it doesn't really make much sense not having TV out, to be honest. I mean, it would have been nice just to give us a cable, or even another dock would have been amazing, and charge $240, you know, $230, $240 for a docked version. Or even better, it could allow us to use the original dock and just plonk this on the original dock and use a Pro controller. That would have been great, because this, I can tell you now, size wise, feel is a lot more comfortable than the original Switch. So much more comfortable. I'm gonna spend hours of gaming, I already know, on this thing, whereas this one is not comfortable. It's bulky, it's heavy, You can play it for a bit, but it's like playing one of those old Android gaming tablets, if you've ever had one of those before. They're great, they're a niche product, but they're not comfortable and they're not exactly practical. That's a bit like the Switch. The original Switch is basically a docked console for me. I use it for streaming. I use it for couch co-op and online play. It's not really going to be a portable console. The battery life on both of these consoles, as far as I'm aware, and I had to look this up, the Switch Lite does boast an extra hour of battery life. Whether that is a thing or not, I don't know. I will let you know in the top right corner right now. Although they've downsized the screen, it doesn't look like they've given it any other quality. Like, this is not LED and this is OLED. There's no difference really. They're exactly the same screens doing exactly the same job. I think really the conclusion to the Switch and Switch Lite is, what do you want it for? If you want it for handheld gaming and that's all you want it for, the Switch Lite's going to do the job. You're not losing out on anything other than your TV out feature. So I definitely, if you want a handheld this generation console, you know, something that looks good whilst you're playing it, good graphics, doesn't overheat, you know, this is your boy. So I mean, the technology in here could have been better, but again, it would overheat and have issues. So they've put the right amount of technology into the right amount of form factor, and I would say if you want a reliable, decent looking handheld gaming experience, go with this one. Now, if you want to be able to have the option of popping it on the TV or even recording game footage, or maybe doing Twitch or YouTube or something similar to this, this is your boy. I've read a few unreliable sources saying that they're going to discontinue the original in favour of the Lite. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. I would snap a couple of these up if I had the cash, and keep a couple spare just in case, but I don't think that is the case. I think they're trying to cater to both markets, and I think they've done a good job. Okay, so there's a side-by-side comparison there. Now, obviously the lighting's different. There's not much I can do about that other than put them almost side by side. The screens are as good as each other. I can read just as well on this one as I can that one. Everything seems to be looking the same. This one does seem to have more glare on it, but it could just be the light in my room here. I mean, yeah, it's a great screen. It's a great product. Gaming wise, I'm going to be doing updates on this console regularly now. I'm going to be showing you what games are running great on the Switch Lite, if any issues, reporting them, showing you what I'm playing on the Switch, my top 10 games and whatnot. You know, I'll put up frame rates and things like this at a later date. But as far as the console goes, it's a better looking console, of course. It's the limited edition. They do plain colours in these, and they're very vibrant colours. They're nice colours, but for me it was a no-brainer to go for the limited edition Pokemon. I hope you've enjoyed the unboxing, and if there's any information you'd like to know about the Switch Lite that I didn't cover, or any questions you have, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Thank you for watching, guys. And maybe if you're not already subscribed, drop a subscribe. We do release content regularly every month, and at the time of releasing this video it should be around the seasonal period, so I'm wishing you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.